Hello, my name is Chase Squeo, and welcome to People in Perspective. I'm here with Wyatt Squeo. He works for Union Pacific Railroad as a train engineer. How's it going, Wyatt?
Good, Chase. How are you?
Good, thank you. So, why did you choose this job?
I chose the job for stability, income, insurance, just knowing that I have a secure, safe career.
Very important. What skills does this job require?
Skills, just forward thinking on your feet, being able to problem solve, doing that quickly, paying attention to the feel of the train and understanding what it's doing and taking actions to just operate the train smoothly with good train handling.
Very interesting. Thank you. So, how long have you been at this job?
15 years.
Wow, that's a very long time. Do you enjoy your job?
I do. It's one of the oldest jobs in the country, and not many people are able to do what I do. So yeah, I have a sense of enjoyment, sense of accomplishment after the end of the day, most of the time.
Very interesting. Would you recommend your job to others?
I would not.
Why is that?
It's a lifestyle that I don't if you're young or have a young family, starting a family, it's not conducive to that being successful. You're away from home a lot. The hours are extremely long. But on the other side, the pay is very good and the insurance is very good. So it's a give and take. I would say no. I would not recommend it, and I have done so.
Very interesting. How long does the average trip on a train take?
The average trip could take 8 to 10 hours. You can do it at 70 mph, you can do it in 3.5, 4 hours.
So, what was the longest trip you've been on, driving a train?
I've been on the head end of a locomotive for 22 hours.
Oh, wow.
It was a snowstorm. They couldn't get to us. You don't operate the train for that long. You can only operate for 12. But yeah, I was on duty for 22 hours at one time.
That's a very long time.
It is a long time.
Can dealing with people for such a long time be frustrating?
Yes. Yes. You want to ask why?
Sure. Are there any stories you have of
No, it's
frustrating people?
I work with. There's 400 engineers in our union.
Cool.
And that's a lot of people, a lot of different personalities, a lot of points of view, and you tend to possibly get frustrated with an individual who's not thinking like you're thinking, and the way I'm thinking might not necessarily be the correct way, but frustration does set in, yes.
That's a good way to put it. What do your trains usually carry?
Carry everything. Coal, oil, natural gas, rock, and then you have mixed freight, anything from frozen food to fresh food to electronics, cars, military equipment, windmills. I'm talking about the big power windmills that take the place of the electric companies powered by coal. So anything and everything.
That's pretty neat. How many people are on the train with you usually?
Just me and the conductor. Every once in a while you'll get a third person, but most of the time it's just two individuals.
Would you say that 2 individuals are enough, or would you like more on a train?
That's a good question. At one point, there was 5 or 6 in a crew,
Wow.
and solely technology has eliminated those crafts. You know, there was a caboose. They eliminated that, so they eliminated the individuals that rode on that caboose. And just through collective bargaining have eliminated brakemen, switchmen, to the point where now we're just engineer, conductor. I'm not for eliminating jobs. You're putting people out of work, but I am for, if technology is making your day go smoother, go easier, then I am for that. So that's hard to say. There's more to that than just a yes or no answer.
Is being on a train for a long time like physically taxing, mentally taxing? Like, are you able to give the details on that?
So I'm on call, and after the phone rings, I have 2 hours to get to work. So when I'm called, I'm first out on a rotating board. So if I'm first out at 2 o'clock in the morning, I have to be at work at 4 in the morning. If I'm first out and get called at midnight, I have to be there at 2. And generally your trips last 10 to 12 hours. And at that time of night, it is hard to stay awake if you're not rested. Especially if you're working with someone that you don't necessarily have anything in common with, and there's nothing really to talk about. You're just operating. It's like you're driving your car on the highway by yourself at night. People tend to nod off. So it does happen, and it's extremely hard to stay rested for those time slots.
So what can go wrong? What's like the worst case scenario for being on a train?
Well, worst case scenario is critical incidents. You hit somebody at a road crossing, or somebody is on the tracks and you hit that individual and you critically hit that person. That's the worst case scenario. But what could happen, and happens more than it should, is when the train breaks in 2 or 3 or 4 different pieces. And the conductor has to get on the ground and put that train back together. And nowadays it happens a lot more than it used to, because they're making trains much, much longer than they used to. Average train when I hired out was 7,000 feet. A mile is 5,280. They're making trains now 10, 12, 14, 15,000 feet. We're talking almost 3-mile long train.
Wow.
And a lot can go wrong in 3 miles. So the break-in-twos happen quite often, and that really extends your day. Derailments, bad train handling, the position of the cars can cause that, conditions of the track can cause a derailment, and the engineer can cause a derailment. So those are some of the things that could go wrong on a daily basis, and which unfortunately do go wrong quite often.
Well, that's unfortunate. I think we're going to wrap it up today. This has been Wyatt Squeo on People in Perspective, and with Wyatt Squeo. Thank you for coming, Wyatt.
You're welcome.